Hi guys. Karibuni-san, and thank you for taking the time to come here and experience this artist. Yeah. My name is Kwamboka Mwasi. You can call me Kenana, and I'm the community manager at Semabox. I'll be your host this evening. Semabox is actually right through this corner. So if you've actually been meaning to start your podcasting journey, feel free to pass by and ask us any questions, and we are going to assist you. So I'm excited to be having a conversation with this artist who we all know and love. He's a singer-songwriter who specializes in Afropop music. He has been a staple in the music industry since Leban days with hit songs like Number One and Leo. And he is still thriving even now while in his solo career with bangers like Sinanoma, which is actually my favorite. If you have seen him live, then you know he's incredible when it comes to performances and a vocal powerhouse with a magnetic stage presence to match. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Charisma on stage.
All right, hi guys, how are you? Umesema vitu poa manze, sijazoea. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
So, okay, I introduced you my way.
Yes.
Do you mind introducing yourself your way?
Oh, the thing is, I don't think I can do better than you, but my name is Charisma. I'm a singer, songwriter, an entertainer. Yeah, and a love of life. I like to have a good time. I like to celebrate my life every single day. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And then the music comes after. Yeah.
Tell us about your music journey from the start until now, because I listened to an interview previously that you mentioned that you usually didn't know that you could sing.
Yeah, I never used to sing, so I'm a busybody. I don't know how many of you guys are the kind of people who, even while you're working, you'd like to have something else that you're doing, you know. Like, it just feels like when you're only doing one thing, like it's not enough. So I used to play, I finished high school, I was in Nairobi school, I finished high school in Nairobi school, and I used to play rugby. So I got into club rugby early after high school, but I completely fractured my collarbone just went. Nilienda huko nikapatana na baba manze. Nilikuwa nadhani mimi najua kucheza rugby nikapata wanaume kumbe wako huko. Let me tell you, when you play rugby in high school, you know, you always think you're high and mighty. And then you go to the rugby pitch and realize like you're the smallest child like you're literally a child there. So I remember they put us through a drill and they were like, okay, simameni hapa in a line. So there's like a dude, umseni a man mountain. And I ran towards you, tackle, man. Akumbuka alika mara ya kwanza nikasonga nasema, no way. Ain't no way I'm taking down this man. But we did it a couple of times, and then after like a while, I couldn't feel my shoulder. Like ilikuwa imededi manze. Alafu unajua sa rugby wako na roho chafu manze, wanadhani kila msee ni strong. Inuka! Me, I want my mommy. You know, yeah, so literally I broke my arm. And that was the end of rugby for me, and that used to be the thing I used to do. So I always wanted to be a lawyer. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer all my life. And so for sure I went to law school. Now rugby was not in the picture, and I started doing other things. I used to act a lot. I used to act when I was younger. And we had a concert at Nairobi Baptist. I don't know if you guys know the Nairobi Baptist just here in Ngong Road. So we had a concert there, and I was the head director for the concert that year. So there were guys in drama, and so I was the director for drama alongside a couple of other people. And so there were guys who were directors for singing, and there were guys who were directing dance. So the directors were always like ex-candidates, you know, guys who finished Form 4. And one of the ladies who was leading the singing department came to me and she was like, listen, for some reason, none of the dudes is coming to sing. Like all of them feel like singing is for the girls. And me deep down, I'm like, yeah, it's for the girls. Why are you disturbing the boys? And she was like, listen, so I think the only way we're going to make these people come is if they see someone like you who they look up to singing. I'm like, what? Sing what? And they're like, yeah, just come and sing for a bit. And Jeff, who's behind the camera, was one of the guys who was chochaying that nonsense. So I go there. I say, man, anyway, yani aja nikwambie my waste man. But anyway, ni God aliwatuma, I guess, to say me. Because I figure there, you know, you'd assume when someone is telling you come and just inspire people, watakweka kwa background. They come and they're like, okay, so Fidel, you're going to, my real name is Fidel, by the way. So I don't call myself Charisma. It's very weird. Charisma? No. Yeah, so Fidel, you're going to sing this song. I'm like, wait, listen. I wasn't meant to sing a song. I'm here to inspire people to sing songs. Then they're like, no, just sing. And I remember I was given a song. It was Dietrich Haddon featuring someone else, or someone featuring Dietrich Haddon. It's called Stand Still. And I sang with a friend of mine called Wabaya. And it's the first time I ever sang in front of an audience. And literally, that's how I would say my career took off. Getting to Le Band was very weird because, again, this person here, Jeff, is the one who started Le Band, which is you know. So after this whole thing for the church, what happened is we had, like people just used to go and practice. There used to be, there was a cappella group called SOCS. You guys would not believe what SOCS stands for. Singers of Christian Songs. Well, please, I need you to know I wasn't in that group. They were my friends, but I wasn't in that group.
Do they call themselves SOCS or SOC?
Listen, I promise they were called SOCS. I'm not even playing with you guys. I promise they were called SOCS. Na ilikuwa so lame, but hasa walikuwa naimba poa manze. Walianza, unakumbuka vile, Jeff, walikam church wakaimba, nikawachukia, juma dem wote walikuwa wanawalike. Ilikuwa inanibo manze. Mimi nimekatia dem 3 years, mse anakama naimba 2 minutes, dem ame like, oh, mse, you know. But yeah, so I started going for their practices just to like, because nilianza kudanganywa na today, maki by then kama unaweza imba. Hey, you are not that bad. You are not great, but you are not that bad. And I was like, okay, not that bad is not too bad, meaning there's something to work on here. So I used to go for their practices. And I remember there's a time, so Njoki Karu, I hope you guys know Njoki Karu, had a concert. She was performing at, and Jeff, hey Jeff, you're such a fixture in my life.
Jeff, you need to take us there.
Yeah, because Jeff and is such a fixture in my life. But Jeff called us guys and he was like, okay, so guys, Njoki wants to do a show. And you guys, I feel like we can back her up. She needs a band. So kina Jeff were going to play the instruments and then the vocalists were going to sing. Wacha niwa show watu wangu. Sijawahi tetemeka hivyo on a stage. And it wasn't my first time on a stage. I had acted in front of people for a long time. But najua manze mimi naambianga say ku-act na kuimba is not the same thing, in my opinion. Kuimba me feel kama, especially if you're not confident about yourself. You know that thing where you're like, I could go off key any time. I'm not talking. I'm like, I can talk. I'm a yapper. You know, I'm fluent in Japanese. But singing, I was just like, it's not for me. But we did that thing, and I remember I was shaking. Like, my knees were gonganaing the whole time. But that's literally how my journey began. Like, ilikuwa tu kufosiwa into situations. Na kina Jeff na maboy wangu kunidanganya mimi mnoma mpaka nikajibelieve. Wale ni feed wongo. As in, maboy wangu ni kama dem. Wamenidanganya hadi nikajiamini. And that's why I love them also. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you wanted to become a lawyer, right?
Yes.
So how did your parents take the speech?
Oh, for being a musician?
Yeah.
First of all, my dad is a pastor. So I just want to let you know, this being a secular musician has never been an easy conversation. But my parents were, I want to say, supportive in a sense. I think they were supportive to the degree they could be supportive. It's not easy for someone to be a pastor and have a child who's doing secular music. And I think even if you look at my music earlier on, I was very cautious about how I did my music. I want to say I never fully expressed myself because I was really trying to do things that would please me. I was thinking about my dad every single time. Alafu manze nilikuwa naishi kwa nyumba yake. Yani lazima tu nimfikirie. Juu nitakula nini? Unaget? Tunaenda show tunapatiwa 2,000 ya fare na tuko watu 9. Guys, so yeah, it was difficult. But the one thing I remember my mom saying is, okay, so we'll let you do your thing, but the law, or rather law school, has to be number 1. So everything you're doing is fine, but we're only allowing you to do these things if you're, And that time I think 18 or 19, somewhere there. So yani kile anasema lazima tu nidu, hata sina fare kutoka kwa nyumba, so niko tu nafanya vile wanajisikia. Yeah.
So you'd still actually pursue law?
Yeah. Okay. No, wait, what did you say?
You'd still pursue law?
No. I don't live in the house. Yeah, now I'll do my own thing. I don't want. And I tried, so I really still love law as a profession, yeah. And I practiced it for a while, but guys, let me tell you, it's not easy. Kwanza ukionja hii maisha ya usanii, ni ngumu kurudi kwa ofisi manze. Nilikuwa naka hivi, so I was doing that thing at the same time. Like I was a lawyer and I was a musician at the same time. And I think that's the worst thing that happened to me because I was comparing them. Nilikuanga law school, maisha ni mbaya. Yani nasikia tu kila kitu inanibo. Niko nakatwa na mafile. Kwanza nikiwa kwa attachment kwa law firm. Kuna file ile nikata kidole hata sijaipona. Niko na hiyo scar for the rest of my life. Alafu nikienda inside ya le band manze tumepelekwa gig coast. Hey! Wasichana wanatupigia nduru. Hata ikiwa ni wewe. Hata wewe utachagua gani? Alafu unalipwa kujibamba. Ina feel tu ni insane. And to be fair, the law side was paying more, but I felt more gratification, you know, from this other side. Like, nilikuwa tu najibamba. I wish ningedu law peke yake alafu labda ningekuwa wakili kiasi. Lakini hiyo kucompare ilinitoa. Sitaki hiyo maisha kabisa. Anaonanga tu na masuti na yak. It's not for me. It's not charisma. Yeah.
What would you say influences your music?
What influences my music? I think just everyday life. I think just people in general, yeah. I think I'm assuming a bunch of us here are creatives, yeah? Or the bulk of us, or all of us are creatives. And I think as a creative, what inspires you is literally, it's not just you, it's everything around you. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they were telling me, your life is so weird. Like you'll come from Mario Twice where you're so in love and then sing a song like Trust Issues where you don't like love and you're... Yani maisha yako watu kucheza tu wakikupenda. Nikamwambia, no, it's not like that. I'm not always really just talking about myself. So I could see Kenana in a relationship where anachezwa. Yeah. No, tema hiyo mate. Knock on wood. Example, yeah. Maybe alikuwa kwa relationship, yeah, anachezana. Is that better? Do you prefer that one? Okay. Yeah, anachezana, and it just inspires a story from me because it's like, you know, sometimes people's stories become things that really impact you. You don't have to go through situations for them to impact you, you know. And I think that's really how I write my music. And sometimes it really does come from me. Kuna wasichana wamenitesa nikaimba. Si ati sijateswa. Kutesa nimeteseka. In fact, fear relationships in this Nairobi. Yeah. Yeah, but I get inspired by a lot of things. Just everything around me. It could be people who are feeling good about themselves, things that happen, kama mafuriko, or I get just anything. Yeah.
How do you like, in your music, how do you incorporate your Kenyan identity?
Do you know the weirdest thing about this question is I don't know what my Kenyan identity is. Okay, so kujita Luya hit inasaidia. Or I get kuna Kenyan identity hapo, but I think there's a Kenyanness all of us have that we sometimes don't realize we do. Even in how we speak. Manze unajua kitambo nilikuwa naambiwanga tuko na accent, niko like sisi. Mpaka nikaenda TikTok nikaona TikTok za Kenya wakiulizwa maswali na wasema juu ndo na realize god damn. Kumbe si uongea different, you know. So I think in how I write my music, just incorporating things like Sheng and Swahili. Kwanza niko na Swahili ya Uluya manze. Mimi ni Mluya wa for real. Nakuanga na ndiposa ndo manake tikiti maji. Like I'm that dude, yeah. So I incorporate a lot of that. And I think I grew up listening to a lot of Kenyan music. So it's really influenced who I am as a musician and what I do. So I think in that kind of sense. But also, I'll tell guys, it's very difficult for my generation and generations that have come after me because we've also really, we've really been influenced by like the Western world, yeah? Because that's what was on TV, that's what people showed us. So sometimes like I find myself catching myself and being like, yeah, come back to your roots, you know. But yeah, I think I really try to be deliberate about being very Kenyan in what I do and how I speak. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're ever going to have a Luya song? Like a full Luya song?
Full?
Yeah.
niko na maoni. I have an opinion. Yeah, I mean, let me be very honest. I would genuinely want to have a full Luya song. The problem is my Luya. Yeah, the challenge is not about this. It's how good is my Luya. So I know I can do a verse or throw words inside, but hiki tu kinaokelo anafanyanga na Costa I cannot. Yeah, like mkiaisikia niko na Luya a full Luya song mjue si mimi niliandika. Mjue kuna msee aliandika hiyo song tupigie huyo msee makofi. But it's really something I want to do. And then my pronunciations of Luya words is not the greatest. Yeah, so I'm a bit insecure about it. But I'd hope to do it one day. I'd hope to do it. Atakani kuandikiwa song, I'd really want to have a Luya song and just maybe do the video in Kakamega in Buhungu Stadium. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask. If your music was a color, what color would it be and why?
Hey. Wow. What color would it be and why? That's a difficult question. First of all, I don't even know colors. I think I'm colorblind. Wow. I know like 3 colors. I know blue, white, black. What other colors are there? Do you know, tell me a vibrant color. Okay, not yellow. Another one.
Red. Pink.
Isn't it pink? Sindio? Yeah. I think, man, I don't know. If I'd pick a color, I'd probably go for a vibrant color. So I'd go maybe orange. And the reason why is because I'm bubbly, you know. I think even when I write my music, I really try not to be too sad or things like that. So I like vibrance, I like happiness, I like energy, and I feel like yellow is just that, not yellow, orange is just that color. Na hiyo jibu nimepeana juu tu sijui colors mob.
Red,
next time the research
red.
a color.
See red?
Okay, bas red pia bas. Ona ule anani confuse. Nimepeana answer ananiuliza color ingine. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your creative process like? Your writing, composing of music?
Okay, so how I write music varies, yeah. So there's moments where I get given a beat and I write to it. And then there's times where we just start creating from the ground up, you know. And that's what we do most of the time. So we go to studio, my producer asks me, what are you feeling? What kind of vibe are you trying to give? And I'm like, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I want to communicate, what's the mood? Is it a sad song, is it a mellow song, is it just a chill song? We kind of figure those things out and we start writing from there, or he starts creating the instrumental from there and we start writing from there. So everything really comes from the ground up. So like, for example, for my album, that's pretty much what we've done. Hakuna kitu nye ati nileletewa hii beat ikatubamba tukasema zi to create everything from the ground up, or sometimes I've predominantly for this album written with an amazing songwriter by the name of Yoya Tajiri, a member of Otendawili. So sometimes we just get the guitar and start jamming and come up with an idea, and the song is there and we're like, okay, let's go translate this into the studio and give it a vibe. So it's just really about figuring out the vibe that we want to give and what's the message you want to put out in the song. That's really normally the most important thing for me, the vibe and the message, yeah? So once we figure that out, we translate that to everyone in the room, the producer, the songwriters who are there with me, and to myself also, to just kind of understand where the process is going. Sometimes it takes long. Kuna ngoma huwa zina take a long time. There's songs, like a song like Number One that I did with the band, iliisha after like 9 months, manze. But a lot of you too pia ni producer kutubeba ufala. Ukweli tu, sinipoa kusikuwa honest, Omse pia alitubeba tu ufala, na siku like. But anyway, it happened. And then sometimes it's just, you get blocks. Like you have an idea and you think it's a solid idea, but you're not able to go forward with it up to where you want it to go. And then there's songs that just happen. Like a song like Sinanoma, we went to studio, I think at 4 p.m. And by 8 p.m. tulikuwa out of studio, beat imetengenezwa, lyrics zote zimeandikwa, tumeimba, tunatoka studio tukiituma mix and master. Hiyo song literally kila kitu ili happen hiyo wiki, ilirekodiwa hiyo wiki, ikatumwa mix and master hiyo jioni, Friday song iko nje. So like, there's songs that just happen like that, and then there's others that are not as easy to produce, yeah.
Okay, so would you say you write about real life events or fictional? Because some of us have heard of a real life event that has been inspired by a hit song we know.
It depends. So sometimes music can be inspired by real life events. Nami sina noma. Yeah, but yeah, I guess, I mean, it depends. So for me, I don't know. The one way I know how to communicate with people is through my music. As I said, I'm a yapper, but I can't yap to everyone. I can't be in everyone's face. So the one way I'm able to communicate everything I want is through a song. When other people do press statements, me, I can do a song, you know. So that's pretty much how I communicate to my people. So I don't want to say everything is inspired by real life events. That's not it. Because there's a lot of my music that just comes out of things I've seen, of things I felt. Yeah, a lot of music I write is about things I felt. But yeah, there's a lot of music that's also inspired by real life events. Hopefully not a lot more music inspired by real life events. But yeah, it's a thing that could happen.
So what do you hope your fans get from your music?
Oh man, I never like to decide what people get from my music. I always just say, I create art, yeah. And however my art inspires you, or however it feels like to you, is for you to decide. You know, like when I was writing Sinanoma, for example, there's somewhere it came from for me, you know. But when someone else listens to Sinanoma, there's a way that song feels like to them, and it inspires something different for them. That's not necessarily what I was feeling in that moment. Like, yeah, kwake ni Sinanoma na life, Sinanoma na situation yana go through. Because someone told me, for example, when I listened to that song, it just makes me want to keep going and understand that like life doesn't have to be that serious. And you know, I was like, yeah. So however my music feels like to you is what it's meant to be. You know, I don't decide what it's meant to be for you. That's how I felt. And that's why I never explain songs. That's why I never go and say, you know, this song, when I was doing it, this is what... No. Because there's someone who's perceived it a different way, and that's okay. As long as it's healing and gives them joy or something like that, that's what matters to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's actually smart, because you feel like if you tell the backstory, they'll have like your experience.
Yeah. You don't want art to be tied to something, because you see, sometimes if you tie your art to something specific, it might not resonate with someone. Because sasa ana decide even though your song iko, hii song ni about say alidu hivi na hivi na hivi, but me si feel your story. But when you leave it to the imagination, it becomes whatever they want it to be. And that's what I love about art, you know, like it can be whatever you want it to be. When you're talking a song like, oh, me, you're number one, I don't have to tell you what the story of my love life is for you to understand where it came from. You can have a love life that you put in that context, and that's what matters. Like, however you perceive it, is what it's meant to be for you. So I think that's the beauty of being an artist, and that's how I look at my art.
So how do you select who to collaborate with? Are you paid for collaborations? Or do you collaborate with your friends or people you know?
Yeah, so first of all, I haven't done a lot of collaborations. And it's not because I don't like collabing. It's just the process of collaboration for me is very intense and meticulous. Like, I always feel like I like to connect with people on a personal level first. You know, I don't just want to get into a studio and do a song. Naweza kuwa na do song na mwizi ama amada, unajua. Acha tujue mse ako aje, ama mse ni misogynist diambo. Labda mse ana believe women are meant to be in the kitchen na mimi nimeenda kuimba na yeye. Una get? So I like knowing who I'm working with. Just talking to them, feeling their vibe, and listening to their music. Yeah, I like being a fan of the music of the person I'm working with. So I vibe with people. I talk to them. I listen to how they create, and also how you create is important for me. I don't like people who, when we get to the studio, amekuwa mkoloni manze. Umse sasa yeye ni the British na mimi mau manze. Ambia pana even though tunadu. I like it being something that we're doing together, you know. And I believe we're coming together in the room as people with a lot to offer together, so we're bringing it together. So the process of collaboration for me is really just a vibe. Like, me, I believe in, you know, people normally say, manze kiwa vibe itaweza. Mi kwangu hiyo kitu ni strong. The vibe is strong in me. I believe vibing is a very important part of doing art, yeah, because hautaki kumaliza project na umejam na msee kwa sababu msee ulisema unataka hii harmony, msee akakwambia hapana, hiyo harmony ni ya Ocha. When I get like how you communicate and all those things are very important to me. So I do believe in vibing with people before we can make music. Yeah.
Okay. But how has your experience been so far collaborating?
No, I've enjoyed the people I've collaborated with. So I think the collabs I have out are Ben Soul, as a solo artist, Ben Soul, Jerai, Emma, I hope I'm not, Lafrique. Kai, unajua nikisahau mtu sahi. Singeanza kutaja hizi majina. Ningesema tu I have collaboration. Sahi nikisahau mtu. Wait. Mbithi, oh yes, oh Lord. Thank you so much, Patricia. Ethan. Oh Lord, unacheki? Unacheki, yeah. Yeah, but the collaborations I've done, I really like the people I've made music with because I feel like they're very passionate with music to the level that I am passionate about music. And we enjoy each other's company. We're not just people who do music together. Si wase huchill pamoja utatupata kwa event tumesimama mahali moja tunaongea, and we have our goals are very aligned. Like we talk about our dreams and where we want to go, and I think we're heading in that direction. And I think it's important. But I'm also really trying to get myself out of my comfort zone in terms of collaborating and not just being in the space where I'm at. For example, I love urban tone mbaya. Nanadai kudu song ya urban tone. But saa zingine nikiongea na ase hata sijui chenye wanasema manze. Unaget? But najaribu kujitoa kwa hiyo comfort zone nilearn hizo mavitu. Na I remember when I got into the industry, I was always, most of the times I was the youngest in the room. You know, like I was 18 years old, 19, 17 at some point. And I was always the youngest in the room. But it's gotten to a point now where naingia room wananiambia mimi ni mzee. Na Bambi, but I mean, I guess hata watafika nilikuwa naambiwa hivyo hata mimi. But yeah, I've gotten to a point where I'm a bit older and I really want to collaborate with like younger guys because I think the vibe is so interesting, the energy is so interesting. Kwanza their dance moves it make sense but zinabamba. Kama hii ya hivi. Wewe inanibambanga too, I don't know. And they're so easy to do, you know? Yeah, I was telling someone it's so crazy how these young guys have cool dance moves, but everyone can do them. You know, back in the day, people who knew how to dance, it was just for them. You know, like, wase walikuwa wanaingia mahali wanaanza kudance nyinyi mnakaa chini. So I'm really collabing with the young guys because I think they're really vibey. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you could collabo with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why?
So for me, there's 3 people. Okay, 4. There's 4 people actually that I would. No, actually they're like 6. No, okay, let's stick to the 4. So my favorite artist of all time is Bien. I think Bien. Yeah, I don't know. I just think Bien is the most brilliant musician I have ever experienced in my life. Just how he writes music. Like Bien huandika vitu rahisi zina sound tu poa manze. Anajua kufanya kitu ikuwe tu mzuri. Inauma but lakini itabidi hiyo stuff haibambi. Nani anataka kuzoea kuumia? But yani akiimba tu unaifeel hata unasikia wacha tu niumie kwani. And Bien knows. You see that question you ask, how do you make your stuff Kenyan? Bien knows how to make music Kenyan. Like when you listen to Bien kuna Kenya fulani, Bien akona ka ushamba fulani pia kama umsaidia. Mimi sema Bien akona ushamba fulani vile uongea na uluya yake huko ndani inanibambanga sana. So I really love Bien. So Bien is number 1. And then there's 3 artists who I have pictures actually in my living room at the back. Bob Marley, I don't know how a collab between me and Bob would look like, but I mean, it's Bob. There's Freddie Mercury, who was the lead singer for Queen. And there's MJ, who is just the GOAT, you know. So those 4 artists, and Rihanna.
I
love Rihanna. May I take care of Rihanna's children, even. I'm ready to sacrifice my life for that woman. Yeah. I know anakuanga na vita na Dan juu ya Rihanna, but I'm younger. Yeah. Built for speed. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite collaboration so far?
From Rihanna?
No. Yours.
Oh, mine. Oh, Lord. Sorry, she's in my mind. What's my favorite collaboration?
Yeah.
No, I'm not answering that question.
It's a hard one.
No, that's like a song I've done with someone. Hey, all of them. I think all of them are unique to. Yeah, hiyo ni swali mbaya. Hiyo ni kama kuuliza msee mtoto wako mgani ni mrembo au unapenda mtoto wako mgani. But yeah, I think all of my songs, like every collab I've done is great in its own way. And then, you know, as a creative, sometimes you have recency bias. Like for example, right now, I really, really love the song I did with Ben Sol. But to be fair, it's because it's the most recent song I've done. So it's just in my mind more. I remember when I released Unavyonipenda with Mbithi, I couldn't get over that song. Kwanza sikuwa na believe naimba peke yangu. Unajua nilikuwa nimezoea kuimba na watu wengi kwa wimbo. All of a sudden tu ni mimi. Oh, amazing stuff. But they kuwa solo artist inanibamba mbaya. Hata nikiwa na stage, let me tell you, I used to perform wananiambia, unaruka sana. Unafaa saa hii naruka vile najisikia. I get. Yeah, but yeah, so all those songs are just unique in their own way. So I don't think I have a favorite. All of them are my babies. But yeah.
Okay, so on Twitter you mentioned that you mentioned how expensive it is to like produce music and have like studio sessions. What other challenges do you feel like people face in the music industry?
Yeah, I think number one is always going to be the money. And not just in the music industry, in the creative industry in general. I think, and they always say you have to use money to make money, but I think it's even worse for Kenyans because you put so much money and there's not enough systems to enable us to succeed. Like, kazi ya usanii Kenya ni mjengo. Ni labor, ni manual labor. Hakuna rahisi. CMOs are stealing from you every day. Your minister, wanaitwa cabinet secretary siku hizi, hata hajui nini na happen kwa field yenu, ama mmekewa cabinet secretary ali-study theology, ndio wako in charge of chenye mnadu. So there's so many challenges in terms of the funds. But I think for me, right now, at this point in time, I think the worst thing about our music industry is there's no structure. And the creative industry in general, we don't have structures to enable easy creation for creatives. And I think once we get to that point where creatives are able to do their thing and you make it easy for them, our industry will grow. But until that time, sahi ni kutoil tu manze. Yani kila kitu ni ngumu. Because you see this, I was telling guys, for example, someone told me, I said how it's very expensive to create an album, and someone said, it can't be that expensive. Because kwao create ngoma ilikuwa ina feel ni kama ni tao 10 could do song. So a whole album should be like 50, 100K. And I was telling them, up to where I'm at, okay, let me not even use me. Let me just give the numbers, for example. You go to a producer like So Fresh who's charging $400 per song. You want to do an album for 15 songs. When msanii show mtu anakupatia 40K. Unafanya show ngapi ndo utoe album? You have to do 15 or 20 shows to do an album. Mind you, if you're an artist who's earning 40,000 a month, it means your demand is not very high. So you're really doing 1 or 2 shows a month. No. 1 or 2 shows in like 2 or 3 months. Kumaanisha utatoa album after 6 years, manzi. Unaget? Na, we bado ni mse unafaa ulipe rent, unafaa ukule. So are you seeing how the math doesn't work? Unaweza pata kudu just a solid album. And I always tell Kenyan fans, I love that you all want Kenyan creatives to have quality music and quality in their music. But it's very important as we compare them to their Nigerian counterparts and the people in the West to understand the dynamic of this industry and how much we earn as opposed to them. For example, Davido came to Kenya and earned, was it 94 million from a performance on something? Me, that money, if you give me, my career could end now. Naenda tu ishe. Unaget, nilikuwa nasema wangenipe hiyo pesa au wasanii wote waliimba Raha Fest. Ilikuwa Raha Fest. Ningeimba set zao zote, zingoma zao, kila mtu. Ni time ya nani? Calligraph. Wanajua ni mazishi. Anamaliza set next ni nani? If I tell you I'd do, for 94 million I would do bad things. You know, I'd perform the whole show. I wouldn't get off that stage. Hata band zinaweza change but misi toki. Wekeni tu majiandimu hapo kando, una get. So you see there's that dynamic. So we want Charisma to have a song the quality of Davido's, but we're not factoring in what Davido is making and what Charisma is making. You know, I think it's very important to be a bit gracious to Kenyan creatives because when we're navigating a very difficult field and trying to make our art, and ultimately, hopefully, we get there. But at this point in time, we're not able to do the things people want us to do with our art. Not because we don't want to, sometimes we just really can't afford them. You know, I wouldn't sacrifice 1 million, but when the Wizkid came to Kenya, I remember when I was with the band, we did a show with him in Nakuru, and we were the youngest guys there, so he really just wanted to hang with us because everyone else was so old. Alikuwa tu nyewe asendo wa fan. So manze tukaingizwa kwa Rolls Royce. Wacha niwaambie kwanza manze. Mimi unajua mimi Rolls Royce nimeoneanga kwa TV maisha yangu yote. Tumeingizwa kwa ndai hata mlango inafunguka na nyuma. Yaani hizi mashetani tu nikasema Lord, tunakaa tukiangaliana hivi, ilikuwa amazing. So tumekaa kwa ndai tunapiga story. The dude is telling us yeah, so music is very important. Like for me, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get a budget of $2 million to market my album. Kwanza unajua kila mtu anatoa kwanza phone yake afanye math. Convert $2 million to Kenya shillings. Hey! Unaangalia pesa hata baba yangu, mama yangu, clan yetu, wote wakishikwanishwa hawajaipata. This guy is using it for marketing. You know, so we're on kind of different wavelengths, yeah? And I think those are the things that need to happen for us. Like people coming into the industry to feed money to creatives. Like you've released an amazing jam. You need funding, yeah? You need someone to push your marketing, yeah? How do we do that? Kuna mse ako ready to inject money. Because si ati Wizkid ako na hiyo $2 million. Ni mse fulani wa biz ama kampuni iliamua kumjenga. Just those kind of structures. And the CMOs, for example, in South Africa are paying those guys. Mimi niko na best yangu ako ni msanii hata ajulikani, but he's earning so much more from his music than big artists do here because the CMOs are paying him, you know. And the percentage of like airplay for Kenyan musicians, those kind of things matter. And it needs to be low. It can't just be by word of mouth. To force our say, mpaka happen do, mse wa radio akicheza ngoma, haizi cheza bien mara 7 million. Juu wase watachoka, umeambiwa lazima ucheze 80%. Sawa? So what happens if we forced you to do it by law? You have to go look for charisma. Because you can't play bien the whole day. You know, you can only play so much bien. Hata si tutachoka, tungetaka tutasikiza album yake Spotify. So we force your hand, and what happens is you end up finding a lot of gems because there's so much good music. I know you guys know there's so much good music in the Kenyan music industry, but we just don't give it an opportunity. So I think that's what's ailing our industry the most, like the structure and the support for us. Yeah, it's not there.
Wow. So guys, just be ready with your questions. We are almost close to the end.
Yes.
But not yet there. Anyway, so what would you advise anyone who's about to put out music? What do they need to know before they put out music?
Yeah, music is ridiculous. Me, that's the first thing I say. It's a madman's game. You have to be a bit mad. You have to be a bit crazy to be a creative. And you have to be ready for anything. This industry will throw everything at you. I remember getting into the game, one of the things is I always thought like whatever I put out will just go. Like unajua manze, nilikuanga mnaive hivyo, nilikuwa nadhani nikitoa ngoma ni ngoma kali ita hit. Hey! Father Lord. Let me tell you, this industry humbles you. It brings you back, you know, uku down. So patience is an important thing in our industry. For any creative, patience is very important. The crazy thing about our industry is kuna mse ataanza sahi, ata drop ngoma na hit tu. Na ita happen. Kuna wase happen ya hivyo. Alafu kuna mse atatoa music for 11 years. The 12th year ndo ngoma yake itaenda. You know. So you need to be patient. Even as you're getting up to a release, I think you need to have a strategy. One of the most amazing things I've been told in the industry was by, I think, Tim. Was it Tim? Yeah, it was Tim Rimbui. He said, talent counts for 5% in this industry. That 95%, that's not the music, the talent is the most important. And that's where everyone falls off. Everyone who falls off that, you know. Because talent, kuna wasanii wengi wanaimba poa. Mimi najua wasanii wengi wenye wakiimba niko tu, hey, wow. Naimba mahali moja na umse. Wow. You know, like there's so many. You go on TikTok and you hear people sing. You go on your IG, on your Discover, there's so many talented people, but it's the 95%. It's the marketing. It's the pushing yourself to the limit. It's the not getting tired. You know, when you're told there's an interview for 6 a.m., kuamka asubuhi, you're 5 manzi. Nilikuwa nachukia hizo interviews. Sijui, kulikuwa na Citizen nilikuwa inaitwanga nini. Sijui alfajiri. Ilikuwa alfajiri for real. Hey, boss, Unaamka 4 manze ndo kuinterview. Sasa hizo naishi Kiambu Road manze na kuja hadi Citizen interview ya 6. Unafika hapo 6 au wase wanakukalisha hapo hadi 8. Unaingia interview 15 minutes. Maswali wanakuuliza do you have a girlfriend? Hata waongee juu ya ngoma yako. Hey. But those are the things you go through, you know. There's so much you go through that's crappy before you get to where you want to go. And I think that's what you have to brace yourself for, and planning and all the suffocation of your time and not having your time to yourself. I think that's very important to know. Na mimi kitu moja nataka kuambia kila msee, na ni kitu nimelearn late in my career. Okay, not late, because I'll have a 20-30 year career. So this is early. Is have a budget for marketing. Creatives really focus on a good audio and a good video, which is great, 100% dope. But if you have 100,000, for example, let's do the math, yeah? You have 100,000, and you shoot a video, you do your audio for 25K and your video for 75K, and you don't have a marketing budget. What's the purpose? What's the point? What's the point of having a dope video that no one ever sees? You know, marketing is the most important thing, I think, for musicians. And I think the reason why Kenyan musicians have failed in that sector is because we don't take our music as a business. Because si uchukua tu mziki kama mziki. But mziki ni biz. Una get? Coke ni kampuni kubwa. Nani ajui Coke? Kila msaa hapa anajua Coke. But Coke do ads. Because in order for them to stay where they have to keep being in people's faces. So have budgets for marketing. I think is very important for any musician. In fact, if you can, try have your budget for marketing bigger than anything else. I think it will go a long way for you. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure there are a couple of things that have really worked for you in the music industry. So apart from marketing, what are like a few pointers you'd give guys?
Yeah, just relationships. Kuwa mse mpoa. Ni poa kuwa mse mkind. Ni poa kujua kuongea na wasee. Because aujuangi mtu atakusave wapi. There's a lot of people who have helped build my career now, who I was with a long time ago. But because, you know, that grace, they're giving me a lot of grace just because of how I was to them then. You know, don't step on people's toes. This industry is too small. Mi wambia say Kenya hata si industry, ni music scene. Hatuna industry bado. Tukipata industry ni ile siku tutakuwa tunakula poa, hata si tupande ma private jet manze. Davido anakuja show na jet na wewe umepiga ndudhi. Umenyeshewa manze, unaenda kwa stage unanuka mbuzi manze juu ya jasho manze. Una get? Like, so this is a music scene. It's very small. The people you see here right now, you never know where you're going to find them tomorrow. Don't step on people's toes. Be kind. Talk to people well. Just carry yourself in a good way. I think it's very important who you are as a person in this scene of ours. Another thing is just always absorb. Be willing to learn. You might know a lot, but you don't know everything. And from everyone. Mi kama kuna wase wamenifunza the most, crazy enough, has been the younger guys. Juu hawa wase kwanza wameiva vitu zenye mi sijaiva. Vitu ka social media. Hiyo stuff hunipea ulcers manze. Mi upata sleepless nights nikifikiria. Okay, kesho ndapost nini? Na ndaifanyaje isikuwe kama nye nilipost jana. But you look at guys like Ethan, for example. Keithan. You look at guys like Brandy Minor, you look at Kinoti, you look at the Abanton guys, Kina Goditena, Kina, what is it? Kudade, Wanadudida, Banala, Naganamwa. Yeah, but anyway, you look at those guys, these things they do about their socials that are things us guys can learn. For example, when TikTok came, I remember being told by Kina Brandy, join Nikki to nini, not Brandy, actually mimi nilichocha Brandy pia hakuwa anadai. Kuna msee alikuwa ananichocha, I think ilikuwa Kina Ethan, wananiambia Kithan. Wananiambia join his stuff. His stuff ni fan manze. Wasa wana gain my fans. Mimi nilikuwa mimi ni mzee. Ndio ndaje kupost ma video dance. Mnafaa kuniona siku hizi kwa barabara ni don't you disrespect my manze tao asubuhi 9. Una get, like, there's things I'm learning from them that are things I would have never known. So just always absorb instead of attacking. And that's why I have a big problem with people who are cussing the Abanton kids. Because those kids have found a formula. And the one thing they've done is bring the Kenyan audience back to Kenyan music in a way we haven't seen in a long time, since Gengeton. And it's the same type of thing. Na unakumbuka vile wasa Gengeton walidu hivyo bado walikuwa wanachapwa. Instead of beating them, why not learn from them? You know, what is it that they're doing? Okay, you don't like sampling, but nini unadhani ni kusample pekee wanadu kali? Pia ni lugha yao, labda lugha yao ukilearn kidogo, labda ukikanao usikie vile yao roll out mziki. For example, hiyo kitu yao ya kudu snippets of a song before the song is out on TikTok. That it's pushed a lot of their music. There's a lot we can learn from that. So just always be willing to learn also. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk listening parties.
Oh, yeah.
You had a lot to say about them.
Yeah.
Okay, so what should they be like?
Oh, I
and
hate
what do they
listening
mean
parties.
to you?
The listening, si udanganywa huku Kenya listening party. Okay, so I just want to, I know, I'm just going to ask, raise tu mkono. When someone says listening party, you, for every one of you, if you think you're meant to go and listen to the songs that are coming out, put your hands up. I mean, ideally you'd think that's the logical thing. Like listening party, tunaenda kuchezewa. You know. So I go for a listening party, napata ni acoustic show. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm meant to get a feel of the album, but now you're on stage playing an acoustic. That's an acoustic music is a very different vibe from what the album is. Aya, ama tunaenda listening party, me, in my opinion, I've always said, if you call me for a listening party, I'm assuming this album is coming out 2 months from now, yeah? So you're saying, while the people you trust, we want you to be in the audience and listen to this album and give me feedback. How can I improve this album? Lakini wewe umetuita listening party Wednesday, album inatoka Friday. Ulisha distribute mziki, umeweka poster kila mahali. So mbona umetuita? Tusikie album, yani alafu unatuwekea Google Sheet tutoe feedback na unajua ukweli hakuna chenye utafanyia feedback. Unatuwestia tu time. Get? I feel like artists need to understand a listening party is important in this sense. You see how we are right now here. I come, my music is not mastered. It doesn't, so it could be mixed music so that it sounds good, yeah? It's pleasant to the ear. Pia tutaki kusikia muziki na sound voice note. Get? Tucheze ngoma, tusikize, tupatie hata makaratasi. Tuandike tuseme, okay, mimi ni old school, Google Sheets bas. Utupatie Google Sheets tuandike tuseme, hivi ndo na feel about this song. What do you rate the song? What can be improved about the song? Ikiisha, next song. Tell us a story about the song. You know? Then we listen to the next song. Now, by the time tunaenda home, chenye tulikuwa tumekam kudu, at least ina make sense. Kwa sababu now we have feedback for you. You're going with feedback that can help you improve your song. If 40 people were in the room, and these are stakeholders, these are people who know what they're doing. There's DJs, there's curators, there's people for playlisting, there's A&R. If those 40 people are saying the same thing, or a majority of them are saying the same thing about one song, a certain song, that's something you have to think about. You know, it helps you improve that song that you're putting out. But chenye si uitwa ni launch party manze. Alafu msee anatudanganya tunampea feedback. Na wewe hata yani hata mwingine anatuita listening party Thursday na album inatoka midnight. Unatuenjoy. Tuache mchezo manze. Yeah, hiyo kitu ni bo. Ni kitu nilitaka ku address na ni bo sana. Na msitufanyie acoustic show kwa nini zenu. Tuchezeni ngoma, inaweza isha muimbe. But tucheze ngoma kwanza. Yeah.
Okay, so you actually feel like the listening parties are more for feedback?
They should be, I would assume. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one who doesn't understand listening parties.
Because I feel like most people assume that listening parties are like, I'm playing you the finished song.
Bas tuache okay, tuipatie jina ingine.
Launch party.
Ikwe launch party, ka cocktail party hivi, tumekaa kucelebrate. No, wache kutuuliza feedback bas. Yeah, don't ask for my feedback. Okay, maybe that's my biggest problem. Don't ask for my feedback if you don't do anything. Because I was telling you guys, like, juzi nilikuwa kwa listening party wakaniuliza, what do you think? Because it was on a Wednesday actually, and the album was being released on Friday. And they asked me, and I just said it's great because whatever, even if I don't like something, there's nothing that will happen. So sikutaka kujipotezea mate. Because hey, ni poa manze, hey. Yeah. You know, because there's nothing they're gonna do. Yeah. Muache kutueste. Ama mtu show. Hatutaki feedback yenu, kujeni msikie ngoma. You know, yeah.
So how many of you guys have been to a Charisma live event?
Oh, wow.
He kills the show, right?
I try. I try. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you enjoy most about performing on stage?
Oh. Do you know, I really like the fact that I can give myself to people. You know, just share my talent with people. And I think the reason why I have so much energy and I do everything I do on stage is because me feel Nico so blessed to be able to share my talent. When I was growing up, when I was like a child, 6, 7, we used to be asked, what do you want to be? And everyone would say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be all those, you know, those white collar great jobs. Me, I always used to say wrestler. You know, I wanted to be a wrestler and I used to watch WWF. Actually, me, akuna wase wameni influence in my life. I probably shouldn't say this because it could be put in another context. But like wrestlers, Kina Stone Cold, Kina The Rock. Those people used to hold a mic at our fight, kuongea too. And they go like, man, these guys are so cool, you know. And they'd capture an audience on their palms like this, like wanajua kubeba crowd. Mse anasema kitu crowd yote inafuata. Niko like, hii ni uchawi manze, this is not normal, you know. So I really wanted to be an entertainer. And the reason why I wanted to be a wrestler, to be fair, is because I had no talent. So I couldn't sing, I couldn't act, I couldn't dance, but I knew I wanted to entertain people. And the one thing I felt I could learn was how to wrestle. So I really wanted to be a wrestler. So the fact that I'm able to do the thing I've always wanted to do, even as a child, to entertain people on a stage, is a massive, massive deal for me. Like the fact that nawezaenda mbele ya wasee, na wasee wako willing kunisikiza. Mi si politician, hakuna do nawapatia. Like, there's really no difference. Okay, maybe I'm making a difference in your life through the music, but there's, you know, like I'm able to go on a stage and people are like, yeah, we want to listen to that guy. And I leave stage and people are uplifted and they're feeling great about themselves and they're going home happy because of that. That means a lot to me. And I don't take it for granted. And that's why every time I step on a stage, however big or small, the energy is the same. I don't care. We're going to deliver the same freaking way because it's an opportunity not everyone has to do. And not everyone is doing what they love. So I really don't take it for granted.
Have you ever been on stage and no one really came for the show?
Yeah.
How did you take that?
And no one came for the show?
Yeah.
A lot of them. Kwanza, muuliza Jeff, tukimba na le band manze tulikuwa tunaambia watu wawili watatu. Si band ni watu wengi kuliko audience. Hii side kwa stage mko 8, huko watu ni 4. Hata mkiwaambia wa clap ni nyinyi mna clap manze. There's a time and let me tell you, you would think that's the worst thing. But an even worse feeling is going to a show and performing and nobody gives a damn about your performance. Tulienda gig fulani Kariobangi. Tulienda gig K-South. Sijui ni juu muziki yenye tulikuwa tunaimba haikuwa bamba. Sijaiona wasee wenye hawajali chenye msanii ana. Like, and it's not that they were not caring before we went on stage. They were actually having fun. Walikuwa wamejam. Alafu sisi tukapanda tu stage. Hawakutupea hata chance. Tuliimba tu for like 10 seconds. Wasee wamecheck out. Hawajali. Tunamaliza kuimba. Unajua hata ule msee mmoja kwa audience. Hakuna msee. Kila mtu tu ako story. Then tukadhani wamemaliza kutuhat. Tukatoka stage. Attention yao yote ikarudi stage. Juu Sarabi was going on stage next. And Sarabi, wanapiga kupiga. Manze hiyo day nilisikia. Nakumbuka nilikuwa nimevaa fedora. Sijui kama nani anajua fedora. Ile kofia fulani. Nilikuwa nimevaa fedora manze. Nakumbuka tukipita around wase nilikuwa tu nimejishikilia hivi. Nasikia, I was so embarrassed man. Sasa tumepiga luku manze tunadhani tuko poa. And then, you know, we start with the harmonies. You know how singers are? Music is the... My boys are making a harmony. Oh, they don't care, yeah. So that feeling is not great. Us guys have done a lot of shows for ourselves. Tumejimbia. Now you're on the grind. I think pia build a lot of character. Build character na pia inakufunza a couple of things. Kami, one of the things it taught me, and I think it's one of the things I'm really strong as a performer, is vibing with the crowd and just engaging the crowd. Even if they don't know me, I know by the end of my performance, they'll be dancing with me. Because I had to learn how to engage a crowd. You know, how to just, they might not be interested, but nawafanyaje wako interested. Because manze tulikuwa tunaenda show, manze tunaimba, kuna mse anajali. Juni nani? Kwanza mkiwa ati nyinyi mna open for Sauti Sol. Oh Lord. Sauti Sol! Mniko katikati ya set. Sauti Sol. Hey. Damn it. You know, it's not great. Yeah. But yeah, I think those things build you. Yeah.
And what's your most memorable performance?
Okay, there's two. So one has to be last year. Last year I do an annual show called Charisma Live, and last year for my birthday I said I'm not bashing. Okay, tulibash. Chani ache kudanganya. Kalishika diambo. Hey, mngeniona hiyo baadaye, Lord. Hey, nilikuwa makalatas. Anyway, last year I did a concert for my birthday, which was really dope because I was doing my favorite thing in the world on my favorite day. So that's very memorable for me. And pulling it off, and we were completely sold out. We stopped selling gate tickets because the place was like, it was just, manze, hakuna feeling kali kama msanii kuambiwa tumesell out. Wow. Yani watu wanatoka kwao kuniona. Amazing. Usanii unifanya feel ka dem, manze. Unajua vile dem upendwa tu. You know how it is to be a woman, like being chased. You feel hivyo saa zingine na usanii, manze. Yani wase wanakaa kunicheki inabamba na wanalipa. Nikakubaiwa lunch. Juzi nyinyi mnanilisha, kwani mnadhani pesa yangu inatoka wapi? Yeah. So that one, but the other one is the last gig I did with the band. It was a go down gig and it was very emotional, yeah. Because no one apart from us guys knew the band was ending. And we went on show and we put up a show. And I remember someone said to me after, when we now announced we were done, like the energy was so different. All of you kept standing at times and just looking at each other and looking at the crowd and being like, man, it really felt like this is the end. And I have photos from that day, and I really, really loved that performance because I had done music for so long with those guys. So that moment was, yeah, it was ridiculous, and I didn't know where my career was going after, to be honest. But yeah, that's something I'll never forget in my life. Yeah.
Wow. I actually know you guys from way back in this.
Yeah. Tunajuana sana.
Me.
Huyu ni rafiki yangu.
Can you share a funny or embarrassing moment on stage?
Oh yeah. I don't know which show did I fall off stage. Jeff, ilikuwa show gani? Ni Miga. Oh, ni go down. Nilifall off stage manze. Niliruka manze nikajipata niko huko kwa audience. Manze ilikuwa wild. Na nikaumia, niliumia mbaya sana. You know, we had a gig the next day and I had to do the gig on a stool. Yeah, nilikuwa nimeumia deadly. Nilikuwa tu kwanza hiyo shit, oops. Hiyo stuff ni abrupt kwa sababu, you know, 1 second you're in the air, the next stage inafika hapa. Kidogo uko huko, kidogo uko huko chini. Alafu wase, acha nikwambie, my fans ni the worst. Hawakusaidii, wanakuangalia. Like, can someone help me? Are you hurt? What do you think? You know, but it was incredible. Yeah, then I went on stage and tried to move my foot and it wasn't moving. Yeah, so hiyo the next manze, na mimi napenda kuruka, so you can imagine nilikuwa kwa stool manze. Nimekaa hapo wase wanaruka like hata ibambi. Yeah. But yeah, that was embarrassing, I think. Na nishairaruka nguo stage. Yeah, kaliraruka kutoka huku mpaka huku. Yani, yeah, it was crazy. And that was, I remember Non-Samadi had come to Kenya, so I was one of the opening acts. Nikadu, sijui kama kuna style fulani wase uruka wanafanya nasikia kuidu, lakini naona kama nitakuwa nimeoverdo. Naweza fanya iraruke tena saa hii. But yeah, boom, alafu una bounce juu. Nilifanya nikasikia sikurudi juu kwanza. Nilikaa chini kwa floor hapo kidogo, nikaanza kusikia kabaridi. Nimekaa chini kwa sakafu nasikia kabaridi kwa mapaja kwa sababu ni kama kuko open. So I dragged myself back by my bum. And I shouted to the steps huko penye asopo niambia, guys, nguo yangu imeraruka. Wakaniuliza wapi? Ambia. So I can't get off stage because I don't have other clothes. So hata kutoka stage ni ufala. Kuna msee alinipea jacket ingine imechapa. imechapa, yani hata ikaharibu fit. Lakini anyway, Rick Jacket imechapa kuliko kuonyesha watu kila kitu. Nikaifunga tu around my waist na nikaendelea na show manze. Lakini nilikuwa napigwa na njeve mbaya. Yeah, but that was wild. Yeah.
Tell us what you're currently working on and what to expect.
Oh yeah, I'm working on an album and I'm so excited because this album is just really about my 20s, you know, and how they've been and everything I've gone through. Sometimes when I'm doing this album, it doesn't even feel coherent. I feel because it's all over the place. My experiences have been, you know, and I'm sure for everyone, like, kuwa young tu ni chaos. So I'm really singing about everything I've gone through, the good, the bad, the ugly, the sherehe, a lot of sherehe, so many sherehe songs. And then also, a weird thing, I'm not doing a lot of slow songs at this point in time. That's not where I'm at. I feel like I'm at a different place in terms, and it's not even at my age or anything, it's just vibe na feel too very, niko too in that era, na feel too niko happy, nataka kurukaruka, nataka wasewa dance. So I'm creating a lot of boppy music, and yeah, I think the album will be really dope. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys understand the stories. I hope I'm not too complicated or not complicated enough. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment.
How many songs?
I don't know, because kuna times ilikuwa 10 ngoma, yani inafika tu mtu tunaandika kitu inatubamba inakuwa 11 kidogo, msee ako na idea poa inakuwa 12. So I don't know, and then kuna ngoma inatubo at some point tunaitoa. Yeah, so I'm not sure at the moment. I think ile time nyenda submit your project fully for mix and master, ndo ndajua ni nini nikiwa na listening party. After listening party ndawa show, ndawa invite. Yeah.
You'll be collaborating with guys, yeah?
Oh yes, oh man, the collabs are insane. Manze, hakuna kitu ngumu kama kwa msanii na umedu collabs na ni kali, na sasa uko studio peke yako una try kudu single kali pia. Hey, jua sasa nime collab now wanaimba vitu poa, man. I'll let you in on like one of them. So there's a song that features Okello and someone else. This song, tulidu demo. We didn't even put the verses. Like, we really just put the chorus and like not even a verse, instrumental inatosha na verse. So the song I sent to Okello, I just told him I have this idea and it's like this. So the whole audio was like 1 minute only. Let me tell you. And waseka Okello ni bo. Na mtumia track na mwambia indo idea. Mse ananirudishia amerecord verse. Niliplay your verse. I remember I was at this club called Alloy. Niliplay. Ikaisha kwanza nikakaa chini. Najua sasa mse anadai aje. Nikaenda kwa washroom kuisikia tena. Nikajiambia, Lord Jesus, ameniwekea mlima. Because the verse is so good. Kwanza Okello mnajua vile you do marans na maringo kana ringanga diambo. Yeah, so he's done such an amazing job. Wananipeanga pressure. Sometimes I just want to be the first one. Don't nisikuwe na pressure. But yeah, it's so incredible. You do music with so many great artists, and then now you feel like you have to match up to them, you know, or be on another level, which is dope, because that's what the sport is, yeah? Yeah.
Do you already have a name?
Yes. I don't like it. Okay. I don't like the names I have.
Could we help you pick?
Listening party. Yeah, ile ukweli. Msijali tutakuwa na Google sheet. Choose, tick your favorite name. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 more questions, and then we take questions from the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
If you weren't a musician, what career path do you think you would have pursued?
Yeah, just be a lawyer, unfortunately. Yeah, sasa sahi na feel very unfortunate. By the way, mi wanawase nilikuwa nao law school naambia, oh, it sucks to be you. Wase wanakuanga ofisi daily manze. Kuna boy wangu urudi mtaani 8 p.m. na anaendanga 7. Sad life. Hata nilimuuliza ulioa ya nini, bibi yako akuonangi. Waambiana tu good night. Hiyo ndo kila day, good night, good morning, bye. I'm like, mi ndo nafaa kuwa married, mi nakuanga home. Yeah, but yeah, I'd probably just be a lawyer because that's what I studied. I think ultimately that's what I would have done if I wasn't a musician. Yeah. Ningekuwa na kipara manze, god damn. Nilikuwa nanyoa by the guys. Just kuzaliwa na dread. Yeah.
You sing in the shower, right?
I mean, yeah.
What's your go-to song?
Hey, I have so many go-to songs. I have a go-to album. Oh man, I have so many songs. I like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Yeah. And then another song. Kwanza wacha nikwambie, tuseme nilikuwa na kadem tukosane. Utanipata nikiimba Asha Climax. Napiga manduru kwa hiyo bafu na dance moves. Na mimi ni animated manze. So because you know how you're just confident, you find me just in the shower hata nikipaka sabuni na kuja na moves. Una get? Yeah, so I sing a lot of, and then a lot of reggae. Reggae, nani usikiza reggae hapa? Kama ushaioga ukisikia reggae, hata usafi, yani unafilingi kuna kauzito kametoka. Unasikia? Hata maji haikuchomi, kama ilikuwa moto, kani baridi ya usikii, yeah. So like I have so many songs that I listen to, but I'd say, let me say Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, probably. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Me actually shower listening to Abaton.
Ah! Inadudida. Lakini hiyo si fujo. Una shower kubwa? Your bathroom is big, eh?
It's decent.
Unajua ukiona kabafu kadogo usikiza hapa ntonato unaweza umia. Unaweza gonga ukuta manze. Eh.
Okay,
Yeah.
now let's get the questions from the audience.
Yeah, and please don't ask me questions based off my Twitter. That's not who I am.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
So my name is Clive Alfayo.
Yes.
I would like to describe myself in 3 words. I care about the Msani.
Thank you.
I'm passionate about AI.
Yes.
And I love music. I love music.
Are you a tech bro?
I'm many things. I'm a tech bro, but I'm also an artist manager and many things.
Wow.
Yeah. So AI is coming to change the game. Now the computer can make music, and it can make music with a sentence. What are your thoughts on AI making music and just AI in general?
I think AI is brilliant. AI is really, really brilliant, yeah. But the one thing I've always felt, and maybe you can correct me, because wacha niwaambie, technology, kuna kitu inepitanga huku ikienda huku ni technology. Computer najua kutumia Facebook. Na kutuma email. Oh, sijui Excel. Oh, no. That's not who I am. But I think the thing for me with AI is, I've always said, yeah. So there's one thing, even before I go there. There's AI, yes, but there's also IP, yeah. So I remember there was a lot of issues people brought with regards to like, I can make a Drake song without necessarily having Drake. But you really can't. It's against the law, you know. They can sue you. Those things will be taken down. You can be sued with those kind of things because you can't use what's mine. So you can create a persona, but you can't create charisma. You know, I can't come to the studio and now say, okay, so now I have an album. Wacha nieke featuring Drake na nitengeneze verse yake na AI msikie Drake akimba kiluya huko. Unaget? Amwezi do your stuff kwa sababu hiyo. But the other thing I always say about AI is even AI to exist is being done by humans, yeah. I don't think you can negate the human feel in art. I don't think computers or whatever can ever replace the human element in art. Maybe when we get to the point where you can give computers feeling like human beings and all those things, maybe yeah. But I don't think we can replicate those feelings the way you feel them in a computer. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I believe there is no computer in the world that can feel the way you feel. You can manipulate it to give emotion, but it won't feel the way you feel. When I make my music, there's a certain feeling that I create from my music, yeah? And that's why I've not seen, I don't know, there's actually some AI thing that created a song and it was a hit, yeah? But I just genuinely believe the what's it called? The human element in art is very important. In all walks of life, I think there's things that will be replaced. Maybe production could change. Maybe those things could change. But there's a lot of things that are that we still need humans for, I believe. Na ile sanye labda AI na take over, hopefully nikuwe nimeishi maisha yangu yote na nimeenda kuona baba. Isikuje juu sina backup. This is everything, guys. Yeah.
Anyone with another question?
But just for you, what's your feeling about it, even as someone in the space? Do you think? Yeah. Yeah. What's your?
I think as artists, you should really learn what is happening in AI because it's going to change how we do business. Because now anybody can make music. So how do you yourself going to make music more personal to your fan and to your artist? Then you also need to know who's our artist. We don't know who's our artist with Spotify and all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, yeah. How you connect to people. You see, for example, how we sell our music and how we connect to an audience. I think those are the things that, for art especially, you still have that benefit of being a human being in the space will still benefit you, just connecting with people, even past the music. You see now, like what we're doing here now. This communicating and me just sharing my journey, it's something that I think is uniquely human, you know. I don't know where the space is at. I'm not very conversant with those things, but I'm hoping Aita tutoa soko. Yeah.
Anyone with another question?
So,
kindly come to the front a bit.
Hata tukuone jamani.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So me, I don't sing in the bathroom. I perform.
Hello. Talk to them.
I just want to find out what had you guys smoked when you did #1? Like, what was the flavor in there?
Even me, I'm trying to figure it out.
Because that's the one.
It's the one. Let me tell you. You see that question you're asking me? Unfortunately, I've asked myself that question so many times because even I don't know. I remember when we did #1, yeah, so the song is out. We started asking ourselves, kwani tulidu nini na hii song? Unajua mimi nikisikia hiyo song by the sikuwa naidhani vile watu wanaiona. Again, Jeff. So, we were going for a church camp. Where was it? Was it Arusha? Or yeah, we're going to Nakuru, yeah. And I told Jeff, there's this song we've recorded. Let me play you this jam. It's a decent jam. At that time, it didn't even have the percussion section. It was just really the guitar and the vocals and something. Jeff akasikia song ananiambia, hii song ni kali, man, this song nini. Jeff, walai. Like me, I think it's just okay. And maybe mine was trauma, to be fair. Juu tulikuwa tumetoa song mingi zinapata 500 views. Na hizo 500 ni za maboy wetu tu yani. Unajua, tukuwa tunatoa kwa block by the way. Dreams zetu hazikuwa zinasonga. I swear, mimi nakushow kuna ngoma tuliaitoa ilikuwa sijui na 47 views. Na imekawania. Unashindwa, hata chwani. Hata 50 tu. Sina Memorial 50 wanasikiza ngoma yangu. Unaget? Mimi najua wasekaso 3 but views ni 40. Like, what is this, bro? So, you can imagine with that kind of, where my mind was at, I genuinely didn't think anything we were doing was going to be extraordinary. So Jeff just hypes me up. And okay, you know sometimes when an external person tells you something, you kind of feel, okay, maybe. Nikaanza hata kuwa na confidence. So tuko kwa camp, hata naanza kuchezea to them. Wanambia, wow, that's you. Yeah. It seems. Alafu wanasema, you're the one who sang the bass. Oh, no. See you. You're next. You know. And then the song goes out. I remember the first day, and listen, and I know now YouTube numbers are wase uenda mbio. Najua wase do 200K in a day, 1 million in a day, but us guys got 4,000 views in a day. I need to put this in context. We're people who had never seen 500 views in our lives. I'm just letting you, like, so you can imagine, tuko YouTube, naambia wase, tuko 4,000. Na nilikuwa nimeshow my boys, because the next day the song went to like 10K views. And I remember telling the boys, his song ikifika 50K views, tutaenda tukate maji. Tukate. That Friday, we had checked the song on Tuesday, ilikuwa 50K. Wacha niwaambie. True to our word, tulikata. tukakata, tukasema tena ikifika so again hey, ikafika so hiyo Tuesday tukakata, kasema ikifika Rwabe ikafika tukaanza kusema sasa hii kukata hata tunasota man, hatuna hata the funds to spend on these celebrations. Yeah, like that song was insane. There's a time we went to the trend, the song was at like 30k views. Tunatoka the trend literally between, was it 9 to midnight, the song imeongeza ka 10k. Niko like, what's happening? By the point nikaanza feel, okay, maybe we are blowing up, maybe this thing is actually moving. When it got to 1 million is when I think we realized, damn, we're part of something we didn't even know how big it was. And it was bad. Let me be honest. You might think that putting out a big song like number 1 is the greatest thing for you, but for us it was probably the worst thing. Because we weren't ready for it. We were not ready for it at all. Like, we didn't have any other songs because we couldn't even afford studio. So tulikuwa na recording tu ngoma moja, tunatoa juu zilikuwa zina flop zote, so hata hatuna mbio. So hii imetoka, all of a sudden people asking us at interviews, what next? Tunadanganya, we have songs, we've recorded. Sasa unajua room tani hakuna ngoma manze. You know, so that song was ridiculous. And we tried to, and me, I'm humble enough to admit to you guys today, all through my career with the band, after I've told people, I think as a band, I don't want to say we failed, but we missed something because we weren't ready for what came. We weren't ready for the opportunity that presented itself to us. And we questioned ourselves every time, kwani tulidu nini na hii ngoma nye tumeshindwa kureplicate? What is it that we did? Like, even up to now, I've never been able to really point my finger at what we did. But I think one of the things is maybe we didn't overthink that song. You know, once we put out number 1, everyone was looking at us. There was so much pressure. And so instead of just doing things our own way, we started chasing the industry. We started chasing what people were asking us to do. Oh, we need a banger from you guys. Us guys were not guys for club bangers. You know, we started to be told, you know, you need to put out a song soon. So tukaanza tu could do things on people's terms. You know, and I think that's why we lost our way. And maybe we were at that point, we were very organic. We were true to ourselves. And we really sang a genuine song. Like number 1 was a very genuine song in terms of lyrics. Hakuna mse alikuwa anasema vitu, tulikuwa tu honest. Hata ukiwatch video, kuna watu hii wanaenda wanaiba pombe kutoka kwa duka, wanaenda kuikunywa kwa woods. Ilikuwa tu vitu cheap thrills, things that were real to us, you know. So I think maybe just being true to who you are is one of the biggest lessons I've learned from that experience. And still I don't know if that's what it was. Maybe I'm just yapping, you know. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Hi.
Hello.
Do you mind standing?
Sorry?
Do you mind standing?
God damn it.
Yeah. Wanasema ukikaa hata tukuone bwana. But hata hakuna difference. Joking. Joking. Hello.
I'd like to ask,
Yes.
how did it feel getting to that 1 milli stride?
Yeah.
And also, what challenges do you get with fame, with being famous? Because everyone knows charisma. Everyone now knows Sinanoma. Ukienda Molly's watu wanakuanga zile za
Manze hata siwezi na Molly's anymore manze. Ina bo manze. Kuna base nilikuwa naenda machuo mnye siwezi ingia. Kuna day nimeenda kula chipo mwitu msaka hata wewe kulanga huku. Nikasema nilikuwa hapa a week ago na iko ina feel different. Mbona all of a sudden siwezi kula? Yeah, but so the 1 million, there's 2 1 millions. So the 1 million with the band was an out of this world feeling. Yeah, that one was ridiculous because it was like we had never experienced anything. And then there was now Sinanoma. Sinanoma for me felt like validation. Because ever since I left the group, I've and maybe sometimes people don't see it, but I've struggled. I've really struggled just to, and you know, kwanza ile kitu ya, ni ule mse wa le band. Wewe si ni ule mse wa le band wa Madrid. Like, naitwa charisma. Kuna day niliintroduce your stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a third of the band. Na nilikata kupanda, nilisema sikuji. Mi si a third of the band. Hiyo kitu iliisha. Niende unintroduce tena. And if you think, ask these guys, I said I'm not going on that stage. So I've really tried to work on building my own brand. And sometimes it's felt like, man, it's not happening. you know, I've despaired a lot, but pia najikumbusha manze, unajua uliambia wazae utadu hilo. Hakuna kitu mbaya kama proclaim with your chest that this is what I want to do and tell them shikeni hii degree yenu alafu ukuje tena unyenyekee useme ma'am unajua yeah, so like me there's really no return for me. So it really felt like validation, like everything I've worked for was validated, like I'm here. And one of the greatest feelings is I go to places now and people, that song is played and everyone knows every lyric to the song. People know the dance to the song, and it's so amazing because I feel like, man, na hiyo song nikitoa, bedhacha na nikitoa hiyo song hata sikuwa naifikiria. Nilitoanga audio, nilikuwa tu zile za acha hii song iende on to the next. And then I'm like, hey, what's happening? Oh, I'm being tagged on TikToks. I'm like, TikTok yangu hata inanga activity. Wanga umekauka, mi wenda huko kuona chakula. All of a sudden, oh, charisma. So it really felt like validation for me. And honestly, sijawahi feel proud of myself like I did with Sinanoma. Number one was big for me, but with Sinanoma, just because that was my baby and it's something I did on my own, and I've worked so hard for it. Since 2019, it's 2024, being a solo artist. And now is when people are seeing, and I tell guys, you see people hear that story for 2019 to 2024, it doesn't sound like crazy, but I've been a musician since 2014. This is my 10th year in the music industry. I've been a musician professionally for 10 years now. And I have 2 songs above 1 million. So any 1 million I get is, you can imagine. Yeah, so that song is just a testament to work. I think it's work. It's not talent, because there's a lot of talented people. It's just I put in so much work and I've sacrificed a lot. I've done so many free gigs. One of the most difficult things to do was coming from Le Band, being paid, and you know, people were like with Le Band, us guys were at a level. We were being compared with South Soul, and they had the band. So us guys were getting paid. So one of the most difficult things was coming down, and all of a sudden, and Shona and I'm gonna perform free tena. Hey, you know, again. Hii shida yenye nikiwa miaka 19 mnaleta nikiwa 25, 26 again. You know, and it's much worse because the responsibility. Now my dad is not giving me money. I'm not in that digs anymore. Now I have responsibilities. So doing a free gig is not as easy anymore. And even at that point now for my folks, it's like, it makes no sense that you're not making money from this music at your age. You should be settled financially. So this is really validation for a lot of things. And I went through depression. For the people who follow me, they know I went through depression for a while. I was suicidal for a period. So it's really validation. About the fame part, acha naambia nilidhani nitalike stuff, but I hate. Jumini mse freestyle manze. Mi upenda tu kuishi life be simple. Mi upenda kwenda kula chipo mwitu. Napenda kukaa base, tupige story manze. Mi nimegrow up manze number 8. So me like, hizo ndo vibes zetu, tulikuwa tunakaa tu place tuna chill. Siku hizi manze, hey! Unaenda mahali, mapicha tunasalimiana kila mahali. Niko tu, oh no, hata siwezi kunywa 2 shots peacefully. Nikikunywa shot mtu anaangalia nini na kunywa. Unaget? Kila mtu ana pocket watch kusema, hata niliona Charisma akipiga konyagi. Ama nilimuona kwa mat. Unaget? So yeah, and I think
when was the last time you actually took a mat?
Ajav. Oh man, I think it's a very long time ago. I think it could be 3 to 4 years. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just say. Yeah, but it's I think being an artist in Kenya is hard because unaona kaa for example umesema niko na ngoma moja imepita 1 million views, but wase wana behave ni kama mimi ni millionaire. Mimi niko na 1 million YouTube, si 1 million Kenya shillings. Unaget, wase wanataka nisipande mat, wase hawataki nikunywe juice flani. Unaget? Like people expect me to live a different life, so I think that's the biggest challenge, yeah. And just that thing for, you would walk into places and it's normal, but now all of a sudden it's like people want, and I really used to see other people experience it and I'm like, man, I'd love this, but now I'm just like, I really miss my life. Like I want to go on a date and no one is taking a photo of me. Siko kwa Edgar.
Okay.
Kwanza Edgar Obare ananionea manze. Sijui nilimfanyia nini manze. Anyway.
You have another question?
I'd like to ask.
Hello.
Kwanza nimeambiwa na watu wa patch nitume salams.
Hello.
Na nikuulize kama bado unakulanga kombi.
Mimi kula kombi mbaya. Mwambie mimi ni msem freestyle. Kombi manze ilikuwa chapo na kabla muziite smocha tulikuwa tunaziita kombi. Hatuko wa creative kama nyinyi manze. Ilikuwa tu kombi tunaweka chaps na Jeff ndo alinifunza kusema chaps. Bedeka kuna mzee unifunza sheng in my life ni umse. Unaweka chaps na masose ndani ama mandazi na sose. Alafu tulikuwa tunafinyana kwa duka juu ya hiyo kitu. Kitu ya mbao. Msee anavunjika mguu juu ya smoky. Yeah, high school was incredible.
Yeah. So my question is, you said you transitioned from legal to now where you are now. What was the biggest shocker for you once you found yourself in the music industry?
I think the biggest shocker for anyone who transitions from a career into is the appreciation, especially financially. Hey, wasanii ufinywa manze. Imagine umetoka kwa place, tuseme acha sisemi ndo mimi nilikuwa nalipo. Imagine uko kwa ofisi when mse ulikuwa ama mnajua ile TikTok ya ule dem alikuwa na work base fulani mwenye alisema kuna place yao ya kunap nini. I can imagine for her, she was being paid well, she has a nap. Can you imagine an nap time in the office? Wow, God's favorite, yeah? Imagine coming from that with a salary, and I think another thing, a consistent salary. You know how every month you know, kuna do. His side, unaweza kaa miezi 6, hata mwaka moja, bila kuona do. It's very possible. And you know, sometimes people tell artists, no, know your value, usichukue pesa ndogo. Lakini boss, wacha nikwambie, unajuanga value yako for 1-2 months. Inafika mwezi ya 3 hakuna rent, value inashuka. Lazima value ishuke. Huwezi baki value ya juu na una rent. Utakula value. Get, like, I think those are the things that are really shocking when you come from that space. Like, you don't have a consistent, and I think a lot of times when people come into this space, everybody believes in themselves so much. So you believe you're going to succeed. You know, you think I'm going to have gigs every week like BN. In 6 months, I'll be doing a European tour. 6 months in return to 60 years. Haujawahi toka Kenya. Mlima. So I think those things are very weird. But the appreciation, I guess, is the biggest thing. Like, wasanii ufinywa deadly, manze. Mi nishaipigiwa simu. Msee ananiambia, nataka ukamu to do a gig. Na hii ni mwaka, by the way, hata si kitambo. I'd like for you to come to perform in the coast. Then you'll come with your band. We'd like for you to provide instruments. We have 30K. Wait, 300 ama 30? Akasema 30 manze. Nikamuuliza, hiyo stuff inawakaje? Nataka tu do your math we mwenyewe. Like, I couldn't even negotiate. I was like, could you please do the math? I'm like, first of all, I hate that you've decided my value for me. Haujaniuliza hata nikutumie rate card uone nini na charge to negotiate. Yaani wewe umeamua mse size yake ni 30. Nikilipa kila mtu kwa band, first of all kuhaya equipment ya band pekee ndatumia mbao. So tumebaki na ngapi? 10. Hatuja travel. Nikamwambia uko serious? Na mwenye alikupea namba yangu alijua hii ujinga unaenda kuniambia. Get, like, yeah, people just really underappreciate artists, and I think it's the thing I hate the most about our industry. Not your 30 ningedu, bado tungesumbuana kulipa. Get, yeah.
So do you ask for a deposit before?
Always. Mi wacha nikwambie. Na heri mniite mtiaji. Mimi kabla nipande stage, in fact tukisign contract, si sign contract kama hiyo do haijaingia 50% kwa account. Na sitapanda stage kama hiyo 50 ingine haijaingia. Kwa sababu mi tayari nimejiavail. One thing I always tell guys about event organizers, yeah. Ukitoka hiyo stage, unaacha kuwa important. Worth yako, like, wacha nikwambie, what is it called? Your power is before you go on that stage. After you're done, ndo mnaanza kuambiana, hata chakula nye walikuwa wamekupromise watakupea upewi. Ulikuwa umeambiwa utapewa maji, inaanza kuwa story. Yaani mtu anakukimbiza juu ya maji ya chwani, 50 bob. Mnaanza kukimbizana tu ya vitu za ujinga. Alikuwa amekuambia take rider, tutakupea tent, kidogo unakaa kwa nyasi huko nikaa huko urupa. Yaani just madness. So me, everything is like, I normally want to be sorted out completely before I go on stage. You know. So me, I do the job. If you decide to act a certain way, I'll just know I'll not work with you, but you've paid me. Kitu nye tusichezeane ni pesa. Yeah, so hiyo lazima.
I think there's another question.
Actually, about 6 more. No, just one more. You had was it a social experiment, or are you a content creator?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So you did something with your dad, and that was before.
Oh yeah.
Sinanoma.
Yeah.
Has your relationship changed after Sinanoma came out? And how is your bro?
No, you're right. That's crazy. Yeah. I think the thing about parents, parents care for their children, So everything they say, even if it hurts, is from a point of love. When my dad sometimes would make comments randomly like, achana hii mziki, it's because anaona nimego through 5 years of hii kitu na haoni kaina make sense. Si ati juu anadhani siko talented. Ana feel tu, manze, hautaweza kujilipia rent, hautaweza kudu vitu zako. But now the flip side with parents is when that thing succeeds, all of a sudden they become #1 fan. You know, I've always believed in you. Kwanza mi siku hizi mzee wangu ni introduce. You might have seen that song Sinanoma. I'm just like, that man. Mzee, shida zikiwa, hata kanaimba, huwa anaimba. Kwanza hivyo ndo mzee wangu alikuwa anasema. And my dad is a pastor, as I said. Anatuita kwa church, acha niambie, kama kuna kitu inaboka na kuwa mtu wa pastor, ni ukitokea church kidogo, lazima usalimie watu. And my bro and I have dreads. So he'll tell us to stand up, and all of a sudden it's like he's ashamed of us because of our hair. Sasa mbona ulituambia tusimame? Msijali hizo nywele zao. Mmoja huwa anaimba, mwingine kanafanyanga kuripoti. Hii ni journalism anaongelea. Now it's like, sijui kama mmeona Sinanoma, hata alifanya wimbo na Bensoul juzi, mmeiona? That's my son. Yeah, so I think my dad's relationship with me is based off my success. If I'm succeeding, he owns me. If I'm not, me ni mzee wa kuimba. But I love my dad. My dad supports me a lot, and I think one thing I say, I know, hata vitu zikae mbaya aje, one thing I know, my family will always be there for me. I know my parents will 100% support me in everything I do. Hawezi ona nikiteseka, bora wako kwa hii dunia. So I'm grateful for them also.
Is another question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, is there camaraderie in the music industry? Because what you're saying now about the challenges that are in the industry right now have been there, still are there, will be there probably. So what are the Wasanis doing about it? Like their bodies like Prisk, MCSK, but still watu wanalia. So as an industry, is it that you're all working in silos? Hakuna camaraderie.
No. So I really like that question. One of the things I said for myself, I don't want to be 40 years old and complaining about how the music industry is. Because I've seen, throughout my life, I've seen people complain about this industry since the day as a young boy to where I am now. I don't want to be part of that statistic. And the one thing I've said about it is, and I've shared with my peers, we've talked and hoped for people to do things for us, but that time we now know, we've seen it. Generations have seen it. No one will do anything for us. So it's up to who? It's up to us, guys. And I think past generations fought a lot. I think one of the biggest undoings of our music industry has been competition. You see, I know you guys know this about people in power. They thrive in us fighting. Because if we're not together, that means they can do whatever they want. You know, it's just like Kenyan political landscape. They thrive on our fighting. You know, they thrive on when Mr. Ruto, when Mr. Raila. So they'll drive a rift between us. And that's what those Kina MCSKs have done, what are they called, Prisks have done. Now, what us guys are doing now is we're working together. And we're realizing we're working towards a common goal. And if we don't do that, we'll end up being those people. Niko naambia mse, mi sitaki kuwa 45 ati ndo naenda tour yangu ya States. 45? Nafaa kuwa nikilea watoto. Unaget? Na niko na bibi yangu tuko kwa beach Bora Bora. Unaget? Even ndo tunafikiria sifai kuwa huku nalia. No, that's not what I wanted my life to be. So us guys are working together, man. The other day I was in Kisumu for a week with Okello, Bensol, with who? Costa, So Fresh. And us guys are just doing a combined album together because we realize on our own we can't. We have to work together. If we want to take down these people who are bringing our industry, we have to work together. We have to have a united front. And that's why I really love these kids doing urban tone. The togetherness with those kids is insane. You can see with the collabs, they're always working together. If Mr. T does a song, Goody Tenor or Tipsy is posting the song and hyping the song. But you see, us guys used to be a generation for when this guy is doing something, I wanna crap on it, you know? So us guys are really working together now because it's the only way we can succeed. And all of us want to succeed. Na miwambia wase kitu moja. The reason why investors will never come to the Kenyan music industry or weren't coming to the Kenyan music industry is just a question for all of you. Just think about it. You don't have to answer me. But if you're an investor, you want to invest in an industry, would you invest in an industry where there's only one top artist? Are you seeing? That money doesn't make sense, yeah? That's not a big enough industry. You go to the Nigerian industries, there's like BBC One Extra wants to go there. Everyone, Live Nation wants to go there because it's vibrant. There's so many people at the top. So when there's a lot of us at the top, it'll start to show financially. People will want to invest in it. But sazile tu tuko na Sauti Sol peke ama Nyash peke, it makes sense. So that's why us guys are working together so much. And you'll see people in the genre that I'm doing, I even now cross collabing with guys in urban tone because we need this industry to grow. There's enough for all of us. Kuna urban tone fest, kuna blankets, kuna gig mingi, kuna raw fest, kuna gig ya kila mse. So yeah, I think the camaraderie right now is at an all-time high, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. Yeah.
Just a follow-up on that. So do you have a mentor, and do you mentor?
Wow. Manze, yes, I do have people who mentor me. I think kuna video nilipost nakuanga na private page yangu fulani. Kuna video nilipost juzi Bien akinipiga lecture niko tu hivi. Hiyo video mnaweza cheka mbaya na katu. Msiaona ile video ile dema na kuanga kwa counter akilia akifatu kichwa, that was me. Because I've looked up to Bien all my life, as I said, and Bien tells me hard things. Tells me the difficult things that no one else will tell me. And I know where Bien is at. So whenever Bien says something, I'm like, yeah, he knows kind of what he's saying. So someone like Bien, and another massive mentor for me. Now the person I text for everything. Hata nikiwa na mashida drama fulani zinanisumbua kwa life yangu, mi text Dan Aseda. Aseda may come through for me in my career so much. Kuna day, hata siwezi waambia hiyo story kwa sababu. Yeah, but Aseda amenichunga. Ye kwangu, I feel kama mentor, and I feel kama brother yangu mkubwa. Aseda feels like my big brother. Whenever I'm going through Norma, yeah, Aseda comes through for me in massive ways, and he advises me on a lot of things, on what to do and what to not do. And he's been there for a while. And do I mentor? I think I'm mentoring even without knowing. I think it's been happening. And there's moments where I realize that I'm doing it because there's a lot of younger guys who call me and they're like, this has happened, or I'm feeling this and this. And I talk them through certain situations. And it's incredible because juzi tu nilikuanga some young boy in the industry. Right now, with how the landscape is, I'm almost like a veteran in our music industry, which is insane because 10 years in an industry is not kidogo, especially a creative industry, because our lifespan is not at 60 years. See, my judge. Wanna get? So yeah, people come to me and I think I talk to a lot of, every time I meet someone who's coming up especially, I always have so much to say to them because I feel like mi usema si lazima mse mwenye anakam sahi I go through what I went through. If there's something I could say to impact your journey, that I think it's great to talk about it, you know, making it easier for the next generations that are to come. And us guys want to do these things not just for ourselves. We don't want to go to just be there on our own. We want to break barriers for the next generation so that they can go even farther. Mi nimechoka na kuona tu Davido kwa private jet. Yeah.
Okay, so if one more question. Okay, let's take the last question and then
yes,
we'll wrap
no
up.
problem. Najua tu camera.
Anyway, ni level gani ukifika utasikia umefika? Is it ukienda kuperform Coachella ama Tomorrowland?
Yeah. It's really weird because I was having a convo with Kina Okello actually about it, and I was like, you know, life is weird. Once you get to a certain level, there's always people above you. And you always realize, nimefika hapa naweza enda zaidi. Because kuna msee aliniambia, tulikuwa event alchemist, some young guy came to me and was like, manze bro natamani nifike penye huko. Niko like, hapa penye mi niko. Manze we'll do my shows everywhere. Niko like, what, really? Na do shows everywhere. Like, he's like, but you're always doing a show at least every week or 2 shows every week. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's like, and they pay you well. And I'm like, okay, fine, okay, decent. And he's like, yeah, I want to be there. I've not done a show in like a year. And then I realized I've been ungrateful because this was me at some point, but now I don't realize where I'm at. And I thought about that thing after, and I was like, it's so crazy. Listen, I look at Ben and I'm like, I really want to be Ben. But Ben is probably looking at a Burna Boy and saying, how can I get to where Burna Boy is at? And Burna Boy is looking at The Weeknd thinking, damn, nitafikaje penye The Weeknd ako. So that question for where will I perform and feel like it's great, I realized it's not even really about the location. It's about what you believe in as your core goals. And I'll tell you this, I'd love to perform at Coachella, I'd love to do O2 Arena, but I've told guys, the moment, and it won't be the end of my career, but a big moment in my career, if as Charisma, I can do a show in Kakamega Buhungu Stadium, have 30,000 people at Buhungu Stadium, wamejaza your place, nitakuwa nimedu kitu nye, for me, for the rest of my life, I'll never forget. Wase watoke Nairobi hadi Kakamega kuniona. Wase watoke Mombasa hadi na wajaze your stadium. I think doing it locally, for me, would feel amazing. And of course, I want to export and go further and further. But doing it here would make me feel amazing. Feeling that appreciation. Wakenya by this an easy audience. So nikiweza do Charisma live Bukungu Stadium. Na nyi wote mpande magari mseme mnakam. Yeta ni bamba mbaya. Yeah.
Okay, so as we close, would you like to play a game?
What game?
It's called This or That. So you pick between 2 things.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a very decisive person.
Okay, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Beach, vacation or mountain getaway?
Oh, beach. Mountain kwanza ni kazi. Mbona nyi wase enjoy your stuff kwenda kupanda mnaenda holiday kupanda milima? Ai.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Oh, non-fiction.
When it comes to books?
Oh man, that's actually, non-fiction, yeah.
Okay. Pizza or pasta?
Oh, pizza.
Morning person or night person?
Night. Anyway, usiku mbaya.
Comedy or drama movies?
Comedy.
Marvel or DC?
Oh. What based off what? No, wait. No, wait. There's a question. There's a proper question here. What are we basing it off? The comics or the movies? We're basing off the movies. Yeah. Fine, Marvel.
Okay.
Because if we're going comics or the superheroes, I'm choosing DC over... Oh, the superheroes that on DC for me are much better. We can have this conversation after. Anyway, yeah.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
City life or countryside?
City life. Country? Do what? Unajua cha kwetu ni Shimalabandu. Anaona kudu nini?
Okay, guitar or piano?
Guitar.
Sunrise or sunset?
I mean, whatever. Sunset. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Road trip or flying?
Flying. Yeah.
Vintage or modern style?
Vintage. I love vintage.
Going out to dinner or home cooked meals?
Yeah, I say going out to dinner because my cooking is not the greatest. Yeah, I'm not the best cook.
But you don't have to be the one cooking.
So, okay. Nah, still I want to go out. Because after going out to eat, we'll go out probably, yeah? Okay. Yeah.
Texting or calling?
Calling.
Acoustic or full band?
I love both of them, but I think my biggest strength is full band. Yeah.
Sinanoma or number one?
Oh. Oh man. Oh. Let me say. Oh. I'm only going to go Sinanoma because, let me give a reason. Nimeimba number one mara mingi. Wacha niwashow. Hiyo ngoma you want a teasing niko like, oh Lord. I've listened to that song since 2017 and every show hata kama iko kwa state. Unasikia one number one. I don't want. Yeah, like, I listen to it too much. Hata Sinanoma inafika your point. I can't stand it anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bad question. That's a very bad question.
What? Okay, Sawa. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, one last thing you'd like to tell your fans, even the guys who are home watching in that camera.
Yeah. Oh, camera Jeff.
Yeah.
No, man. Just to me, honestly, I feel gratitude towards everyone who supports me. I think every day I wake up feeling very gracious to people who support me because I don't deserve it. I think I work hard for it, but I don't deserve it, and people don't have to do it, but they do. And I appreciate you. Look out for my album. Hopefully you guys love it. The thing us guys as Kenyan musicians are trying to do now is put our Kenyan music on the map. So support us in every way you can. Kama mnaweza kuja mashow, great. Mkistream ngoma zetu, great. Just support Kenyan music. We're really trying to take ourselves to the next level. But thank you so much for the appreciation and the love you guys are already giving Kenyan music and Kenyan creatives. I hope it continues to grow because especially this generation is really showing out for Kenyan creatives. So yeah, thank you so much. Follow me at Luya Hit everywhere. You can listen to my music on every distro, Charisma. My YouTube is Charisma TV or Kenya, whatever. Just search both of them. Nyemtapata mtu anakaka mimi. Niyo. But yeah, I'm grateful for you guys and thank you. Thank you so much for also hosting me. This was fun. Yeah.
So thank you guys for making the time to come, and thank you for anyone who's watching us live. And thank you, Baraza, for this opportunity to host Charisma for the Fireside Chat. Do follow Baraza at Baraza Media Lab, and remember to tag them in case you post anything from today's content. Yeah, and yeah, we'll actually have like a group photo, if you don't mind that. And also I was told there's a masterclass on the 29th of May, so stay tuned. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.